Hello, friends. Oh, you don't need to see that. This is a really cool little thing written by another streamer. Oh, P Wing, thanks for the follow. Thank you so much. Welcome aboard, Kev. Thank you for the sub, the Prime sub. It's awesome. I appreciate you. I don't know what happened there. Usually it should do, my chat should scream at you and tell you how awesome you are, and it didn't happen though. So I don't know what that's all about, but I fixed it, and that's what this thing is. It's called Tau, Twitch API Unifier, and it's pretty awesome, written by a fellow streamer by the name of Finite Singularity, who we raid from now and again. Check him out. He's got an amazing Twitch setup. He does some pretty cool stuff. But yeah, well, enough of that. We'll get rid of that. Anyways, Gene P for WP, thanks for hanging out, first time chatter. So if anyone is here from the meetup group, just drop a little wave. Make sure that you announce yourself, because I want to thank you for coming and say thanks and say hi and not at all embarrass you in front of everyone. But cool. So what are we doing today? Today we are doing a couple of things. So I'm going to start doing this moving forward. Every 2 weeks, a new version of Gutenberg, the plugin, is released. And I'm going to go through some of the developer. No, it's not a local meetup. That's a great question, Kev. It's not a local meetup. What it is, it's a meetup through. I have to log in. Stand by. I'll just do this over here because I don't want you all to see me logging in. To know that goodness. It is actually a group. It's the WordPress meetup group. So it's this one, this group. So this is today's event. Is this today's event? So this is the actual meetup group that I'm talking about. I have all my stuff listed there. You can also get there through learn.wordpress.org and the learn.wordpress.org, and you go to the online workshops tab, which is just right up here. You can see. So this stream going to this. Yeah, this stream is in the meetup. Basically, if you look at the event, like this is the one that we're doing today. It's streamed on Twitch, but it's mentioned as part of the meetup. So it's just to kind of get some more people out there, hopefully joining us and hanging out. So that's what it is. But if you're from the meetup group, just give me a wave and I can say thank you and appreciate you. And if you're new to Twitch, I would love it if you hit that follow button, and if you really feel generous, that subscribe button. But it's totally up to subscribe, but it's completely up to you. There we go. Debbie ANMO, we just followed. Why is Bill not happening here? What's going on with Bill? Bill should pop up and tell you that you're awesome. I think my bot might be doing weirdness. I don't know what's going on with the bot. Something's up. Anyhow, so Bill should be saying how awesome you are, and this is for you, Kevin. There we go. All right, cool. Anyways, enough of my jibber jabber. I'm gonna get into what we're actually doing here. So, anyways, as I was saying, every 2 weeks there's a new version of Gutenberg plugin that gets released, and you can download it from the WordPress plugin repository, and it's like the latest and greatest features. And so I'm going to be going through developer-specific features. So this week, where we're talking about this release, which is the 14.9 release. So they're right now the 14. This is the most recent one. There might be like a point release, like 14.9.1 that came out. I can't remember, but this is the most recent one. So if you want to look at that, this is a post that is put out every time we do a new release, and we highlight some of the stuff. A lot of the stuff that gets highlighted is more user centric. So what I want to do is I want to look at some of the more developer-y stuff. And I mean, it's not always going to be super sexy cool stuff. It's going to be like little improvements, little things. Things that are being put in place now, so we can utilize them later, things like that. So that's what we're gonna do. And then after that, I'm gonna get into some more development of my my AQL plugin, my advanced query loop plugin. So let's just get started. So have a read through this post if you're so inclined. A couple things that I kind of want to talk about, maybe show a bit of code for, is one thing that I think is really cool. These are in no particular order. I've just kind of I've kind of pulled some stuff out. So this is a neat one. So if you're a theme developer, this change introduces basically shadow presets for your theme.json. So if you want to read the actual, this is the GitHub issue. If you want to read that, you can, but I have a bit of an example here. So in my Twitch theme, I'm going to just move. Hey, can someone do me a favor and type bang move in the chat? I made some changes to my bot. I'm hoping it works. It wasn't, just anyone, just type. It didn't work. What is going on? My bot is acting funny. I spent like an hour fixing this yesterday, so I don't know what's going on. All right, let's see. Does it work if I do it? This is not working. Huh. Okay. I gotta fix it. You know what? I'm gonna kill my bot and start it over. I don't know. It's annoying. I spent like an hour working on this yesterday and it worked. There. See, it works now. Ridiculous. Okay. Anyways. Silly tangent. Okay, cool. So anyways, if you're new to the stream, you should be able to type bang move and it'll get my camera to go to the other side if I'm in the way, which I kind of was there. So anyhow, yeah, see, there you go. And then it puts me back. Now, but Kevin, you're in my way, so I'm gonna move over here again. So I spent like an hour building up this logic where like OBS, like I could query. Oh, nice, Tristan. That's funny. Sorry. Maybe I should, I'm gonna make the command say bang move too. That's awesome. Anyways, I spent like an hour yesterday having my bot query OBS and be like, where is the source and is it on the left or on the right? Because what was happening was, yeah, sorry, bang move, like exclamation point move, like that. That's what I'm talking about. Sorry, I should be more clear with what I'm saying. I got it working, and it was like finding out how to talk to OBS and get the position, so it was always right. Anyways, this is pointless. I'm gonna keep moving on to something else. All right, so yeah, it is. Sorry. It comes from, for me, I always talk about like bang important in CSS, which is like the thing you should never do, apparently. I don't know. It always worked for me. Like that. So that's how I always hashbang. Is that hashbang? Is that what you call it? Oh yeah, hashbang, like in Bash, right? Is that what they refer to that? I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, cool. So back to the thing. We were talking about adding a shadow preset into your theme.json. So if you want to have like box shadow, which is super cool, right? So there's an example here, and I've just stolen that. So if you open up your theme.json, so I have a theme running locally that I've been kind of building out over the past year or whatever, just messing around with it. And you just add, under your settings, you add a shadow, and I'm gonna move over here now, and then a palette, and then you can add a bunch of this stuff, right? And this is gonna generate, so what this will do is this will generate a bunch of variables that you can then use. So if we look at this in here, oh look, see, it's right there. But if we look at our sort of base styles, we come all the way down here, we should see some, what was that thing called now? Preset, color, shadow. So now you see we have these CSS variables that are being, can you see that okay? That are being generated. I've lost them. Where'd they go? There they are. You can see that they're being generated. So we got theme natural crisp, all this sort of stuff. So now we have access to those, right? And so what you can do is you can use them directly in your CSS, or you can also come down to your styles. And this is just an example, but I'm adding a style for the button. I'm setting the shadow styles, and I'm picking one of these variables. I'm picking the preset shadow natural, which up here is natural. So that's going to end up building out a box shadow rule that looks like that. And so what that actually looks like in my theme is this. So you see I have this little nice little shadow there, right? Could have used some shadow presets 1.5 years ago. Corey, you know, it's when you come here and you complain and you get it now, okay? Actually, you won't even get it until WordPress 6.2 comes out. But you can install the Gutenberg plugin now, and this is a good time for me to say something that I completely forgot. None of these features are going to work unless you will have a Gutenberg plugin installed and activated. So you just go to the you just activate it like a normal plugin. You can download it through the repo. It's not, you just literally go add new and Gutenberg's right there, and you can just install it and activate it, and you can do that. Now, whether you want to run that on a production site, that's up to you. I've run it on production sites in the past. When I used to work at an agency, we almost always did that. For the most part, the features are pretty stable. The thing you keep in mind is that it is actively being developed. So there may be some things that are broken because that's the nature of fast development. Anyhow, but yeah, so you need to have that plugin active. Once it's active, this will work. So if I turn this off, if I go back to my list of plugins, which is right here, and I deactivate this, come back over here, I refresh this should go away. Yeah, so now it doesn't recognize it anymore. WordPress VB yelled me installing the Gutenberg plugin. Yeah, that's not surprising. That's not surprising at all. Is this working today? Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, WordPress VIP is kind of its own animal. It's different now. When did this happen? Was this? Are you on the VIP Go platform, Corey? Because I used to do a lot of work with WordPress.com VIP, but that was when it was one gigantic multi-site. And I started to work with it less when they came out with the VIP Go platform, which is more like standalone. It's more like everyone's its own site, because it used to be like there was one table for all the users in a bajillion sites. So like you were like not allowed to do anything with users, because if you broke something, you literally took down every site on the planet. Like, it was ridiculous. So they were very, very, very careful about what you were allowed to do. Every piece of code had to be reviewed by someone on their team. Yeah. Anyways, it's a fantastic platform. And I'm not saying this because I'm sponsored by Automatic, but when I was the 2014 was it the 2014 U.S. election? No, the 2018 U.S. election. I was working on a site, a political site, and it was like. I think one of its pages was the most viewed page on the internet for that year. And it was, the platform held up, no problem, scaled as needed. Like, it was just unbelievable. Anyways, really, that's my pitch for VIP. I think they do some amazing things. Anyhow, cool. So that, lost my mouse. Where'd you go? All right. I'm gonna turn the plugin back on so we can stop talking about the shadow thing. So I mean, you can do what you want in here. I'm not gonna get too deep into that, but basically, if you're used to like defining in your theme, in your theme.json, if you're used to defining a palette like you would with, say, gradients or like with colors and stuff like that, it generates the CSS classes, and you can do what you want with it. Are they not calling it VIP Go anymore? No, that's fine. I don't. VIP gone. But nice. Oh, to those new users, I apologize. That was a horrible joke. By the way, I look like I have a fair amount of people joining me today. If you're from the meetup group, give me a wave, drop a hi. Please make sure you say something so I can acknowledge you and thank you for coming. And if you want to hit that follow button, then that'd be cool too. Anyhow, cool. So what's the next one? All right. So what was that one? That was the shadow preset. So we talked a bit about that. So there's hi from Munich, Germany. Who's from Munich, Germany? It's 6-7. Hey, welcome. I wish I could say welcome in German. And it's because I would. Yeah, cool. Well, welcome. Thank you for hanging out with me today. That's fantastic. Willkommen. That sounds. Guten Tag. Yeah. Is it? Is what's thank you? Danke. Mississauga, Ontario. That's like next door to me. Who's from Mississauga? Scooter JRT. Scooter Jert. Welcome. Hey, there you go. That's all I got. Welcome from Mississauga. I'm in Bracebridge, which is about 2 hours north of you. That's pretty cool. So I'm just gonna say welcome because that's how you say it. That's how you speak Mississaugan. That's how you say welcome in Mississauga. Anyhow, snowy. Yeah, we got dumped on today. Did you guys get a bunch of snow? Anyways, two Canadians talking about snow. It's the most cliche thing in the world. I drink a Tim Hortons and end every sentence with A. Guten Tag aus Köln? Köln? Is that a... Guten Tag. I don't know. Oh. Cool. All right, so the next one... So there's a bunch of different ones. Now, see, the thing is, these releases don't always have like these really awesome, cool features. Like that last one I showed you is pretty cool. There's no UI associated with it yet, but you can still use it in your code, and that's pretty awesome. These next ones are a bit. This one I'm going to talk about. This one, it's really kind of like structural for Gutenberg itself, but it solves some problems that I think a lot of theme developers have had issues with. So this is basically putting the post editor inside an iframe. And so there's a whole bunch of things. So typically, if you've ever like loaded a theme styles into the block editor, like into the post editor, sometimes you get like CSS bleed, and sometimes you have like your styles will affect things inside of there, and you get these weird conflicts, and you have to wrap all your styles in like a selector, so it only selects stuff inside the post editor. Anyways, so this fixes that. This will do away with a lot of the CSS bleed. It fixes a whole slew of issues. There's some stuff to do with like media queries and being able to show it in a responsive way. Relative units just work. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff. So it's really cool to know about this. Now there is something, apparently it only loads it if you don't have the meta boxes enabled, right? So if you're using something like ACF, Corey, this may not really help you too much, but if you have meta boxes, where do I even see those? Where's that stuff? Oh wait, yeah. So if you have this enabled, for example, this little section down here, I don't believe that this now gets loaded inside of an iframe. I think that's the caveat here. But I'm not entirely 100% sure. There was something, I think we read through this. There might be some accessibility stuff. I believe it's all been addressed, but yeah. Somewhere through here, I believe I read that, like if you have enabled, I mean, we could probably just look. Let's just see. Let's just inspect and get up as high as we can with it. Let's just do a search in here for iframe. Iframe. No iframes. Okay. Now I've got that enabled. So if I come back to preferences, can you see this? Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna just turn off custom fields and see if an iframe actually exists in there. Yeah, so now there is an iframe. So this whole thing's loaded inside of an iframe now. So when you have those panels enabled, it's not. I don't know why that is, and that may be temporary. I'm not sure, but that's the thing. So that's just another reason to do all of your post meta management with Gutenberg native stuff, Corey. That's for you, buddy. Anyhow. So that's a pretty cool one. So it's going to solve a lot of problems. I mean, it's not solving all our problems, obviously, when it comes to like having third parties introducing those meta boxes. So yeah, did I link that? That's 14. Yeah, I did. Okay, so I'm gonna stop talking about that one. And these are all linked in this post. If you come down to the bottom, you can see there's a whole ton of stuff in here. So there may be things in here that I haven't touched on that you might want to know about. So have a look. and read through this. So fluid typography is a thing, and it's still a really cool thing. This thing now, this release now allows us to set a minimum font size for it. I don't have a demo for that because it is what it is, but you can now set minimum font size, which is super duper handy. So I'm going to put this in here, paste that in there. So if you want to have a read of the issue, you can. So what's the next one? Oh yeah. Okay, so this is a code one that is, I think, going to be very helpful later. So what this allows you to do is when you're registering a block pattern, you can actually define the templates that it's kind of like makes most sense in. Try Control L next time. Control I for your address bar. Wants logic. What are you talking about? Control what? Control I? What? I don't know. Control L? What? You need to explain that better because I don't know what you're talking about. But if it's a shortcut, I'm all into it. Cool. Yeah. So when you're defining a block pattern, you would just add your template types here. Now, there's nothing in the interface now that I can find that really kind of like suggests this specifically for it. But I think that this is like work that's being built. It's going to be built on moving forward. So is this something to know about there? Did I give you that one? I will give that one. Because we're definitely going to be registering them. Control L gets you to the address bar. I'm on a Mac, so does that? Oh, Command L for me. Nice. I didn't know that. Thanks. That's fantastic. Paste. So this is the issue that we're talking about there. So is that one? Cool. I talked about fluid typography. This one's kind of a neat one. So if you want to L for location, L for Linux, I don't know. Yeah. Location bar, yeah, sure, why not? Okay. So when you're adding a variation, what this allows you to do now is define. So let me just show you the difference. So you can when you define a I'm going to use my advanced query loop plugin as a reference. So if you look at when you're registering a block variation, there is an icon that you can associate with it. Now I'm using a custom, I'm using like a SVG that's been turned into like a React component, but you can use, I think you can use like dash cut strings there too. But you couldn't add your source directly in. So with this new change, what it allows you to do is in this variation, what you can do is you can use this format now. So in the icon, it's an object, and then you say source, and then you add basically your parentheses, and then you can add your source in directly. So this is pretty handy if you don't like, it saves you some time, right? So right now, if you do that, the block will error out, and if you do it this way, it will not error out. so it's pretty nice. Like if you don't want to have to go through the hassle of like, having an external icon, if you just want to use an icon that has, you want to use some of the WordPress icon stuff or whatever. Anyways, so it's just good to know about. It's not a huge thing. Did I link that one already? I did not. But I love this kind of stuff because it just I feel like it makes life just a little bit easier. And I realized, Monty, I did not use your key command there. So I have to train that muscle memory. Cool. That one. So the last one is this one. So this text area control. This is such a minor one, but it's a nice little quality of life thing for developers. So if you're using text area controls in your components or in your so for example, if you have them like in here or in this case, I built a block yesterday and threw some of these things in here. What this does is basically allow you to manage the bottom margin. And depending on what you're doing, it can be really helpful. I've noticed sometimes that there's too much margin on the bottom because it's getting automatically assigned. And it's really just, it's a simple prop. We're just adding this underscore text has no margin bottom. And what that does, I can show you, probably the easiest way to show you is just, I will do it in here. If I inspect this, I'm using the React and Redux extension, I'm gonna grab this, and is that what the prop? So this is, where am I here? Is this one I want? Or this one. So if you look down here, this extension is really cool because it actually allows you to toggle on and off props, right? So if I turn this one off, you can see I got a bit of extra padding in there, right, that I don't necessarily need. Now in this case, you might want it. I'm not trying to tell you how to use it, but I just want you to know it's there because I think it's handy. Because building interfaces can be kind of clunky at times with some of these components because they're built in certain ways. So this is a nice little quality of life tool. Anyways, so that's that. That's really all. Is that all the ones? That's all the ones. Yeah, that's all the ones I kind of wanted to talk about. But does anyone have like any questions? Anyone want to talk about anything like that? You just tell me what you want to do. Yeah. Because if not, we can just transition ever so subtly. What was the CSS update? There wasn't a, well, there was two things that involved CSS. One was being able to define box shadows. Oh yeah, sorry. So the post editor is now contained inside of an iframe, which should help with like CSS bleed from theme style sheets. That was the one. I thought it was some global style sheet that. No, the other style sheet one was the was defining shadows, box shadow. There's that one. Gutenberg ever going to Webpack? Oh, Monty has a question. Gutenberg ever going to stop depending so much on Webpack and use other packages that don't use Webpack, such as Next.js? I don't know. I think they'll probably keep Webpack until there's something that's better, stronger, faster in the eyes of the people leading the project. I know Webpack is slow, but Webpack is, well, like there are other build tools like that are quicker. I believe that the Webpack, I think Webpack is sort of, this is all my opinion, but Webpack is here to stay for a while. Same way that we still have jQuery. Webpack does the job, and I think it does it fine. And I don't know, what does Next.js use for its build process? Does it use, I don't even know what it uses. Next, SWC. Yeah, I think the wrong thing was trying to replace it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Here's a. I'm gonna get on my soapbox and rant about JavaScript for a second. Every other day, there's a new framework / build tool / thing that's better than thing. Like, so the thing is, Webpack is a tool to build. You don't need to use Webpack if you don't want to. Gutenberg core, like Gutenberg the project, uses Webpack to build, and so does the scripts package. But that's just what it's used, right? Create. This is based around create React app. Webpack is hard to use. It is. That's why things like the scripts package try to abstract that away as much as possible. Like, I'll if you'll indulge me for a minute. One of the first React applications I ever worked on was for WAMU, I think. Is that it? It's like, anyways, it's a radio station. That's like NPR radio. And Webpack had just come out, and literally they didn't have documentation. Like, you went to the documentation page, and it was like it was a meme of, and it said like coming soon, and the only comment was a meme of Picard going like, why? Like, it was just impossible. Like, you couldn't figure it out. But it's gotten a lot better, right? But the point what I was trying to make was that if you want to use the WordPress scripts package, it abstracts everything away. Like, you don't need to know Webpack. You just need to know how that system works. If you want to extend it because you do know a little Webpack, you can do that too. So yeah, you still need to make Webpack config sometimes, but it's still configurable and it's still straightforward. And any build process is going to be kind of difficult. Exactly. So I don't know. I mean, I see Webpack sticking around for a long time, but I don't know. The pace at which JavaScript moves is fast, but the problem is these large projects that power like close to 50% of the internet, they can't. It's like they can't move as quickly as things, because we've got all these people that are using it a certain way, and I mean, like just look at what happened with Gutenberg, right? So we've got this fragmentation, right? Like so many people are like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? And now we're going to be like, okay, you used to do it that way, but now in WordPress 6.5 or 7 or 10 or whatever, now we're going to use a different build process. So now you have to get a different build process and update Webpack to this new build process, right? Should be more flexibility. I think the next decade flexibility is to use a bit. Okay, but so there's two things that I don't disagree with you, Monty, but there's two things I think that we're discussing here. There's what the project uses, so like what Gutenberg uses to build Gutenberg, and then there's what people in the ecosystem like you and I and Cav and everyone else use, right? You don't have to use Webpack if you don't want to. All you have to do is have JavaScript that can run in the browser. You can use literally anything. Bower. Like, I don't care. Use whatever you want to get your thing. Now, I mean, you have to be like, there are some caveats there, some JSX is involved and things like that, but you can get around that, right? So there's what the project uses, which really doesn't affect what extenders use, what people who are building on the project use, and then there's what people are using. I think that's an important distinction to make. Again, this is just my opinion, and I really appreciate you bringing up the topic because I think it's a good one to talk about. But, cool. Anyhow, nice. I like hearing complaints. Well, it's my job to hear complaints. I like it. So thanks for bringing that up. This is for you. That's for you right there. I wish I need something. I need an audio clip with that. 14.8 adds custom CSS to the styles custom panel in the site area. Oh yeah, that was a different. I was looking at 14.9. That's where I started. But 14.8. Yes, you can definitely add custom CSS. So this happened in the 14.8 release, which I actually I led, which only means I pressed a button. But if you go into the editor, yeah, sorry, I didn't stream I had a holiday, all right? So you can just back off. So if you go into here and you go into custom CSS, you can now drop all kinds of stuff of custom CSS into your theme. This is a global CSS. And you can actually preview it too. There's some really, really cool things that came out in 14.8 around global style. So this is like what they're calling the style book. So if you want to make a change, like if I wanted to say like whatever P, this is ridiculous. I'm gonna say color, and I'm gonna say blue. You can see how the CSS changes affects everything in your theme, right? And this is super handy, right? So this is loading all the regular stuff, and then I'm could that be added on a per page basis? No, I don't believe so. I believe right now we are, it's global. It's basically global CSS, right? That's why it's called, add your own CSS custom preview of the layout of your site. Yeah, so I don't believe that. And some other things it added was there's this little preview now for individual blocks. So you can see, that didn't really work, but so yeah, so there's a lot of cool stuff that came in 14.8. I didn't cover it because I'm starting with 14.9, and these are more like, I would consider them more user features. I mean, could that be added on a per page basis? I mean, I would have to look into I believe this is just in queue. This is just added globally. So if you wanted to do that, you'd probably have to do your own sort of like in queuing stuff, add another panel in here, and do it on a per page thing. Yeah, cool. Looking at some different build process from in order to use slot fields, you're going to have to use a similar build process as Gutenberg. That's interesting. Sorry, I'm just reading what Monty wrote here. Why would you need to use I would like to understand this more, because I don't think it would matter. I didn't think it would matter, because they're just components. They're just React components using JSX, right? You're calling register plugin, which is just a function, and passing it a render prop, like a render property. Yeah, I don't know how that would work. If you run, Monty, if you run into that, can you show me? I would really like to see that, because slot field is like my baby, and I would really like to understand if you're locked into Webpack. I don't, off the top of my head, without doing any research, I don't see how that would be an issue, but I would like to know if it is. Does that make sense? That makes sense. All right. Enough of my rambling. What do you say we write some code? Does anyone want to, write some code? Again, if you're here from the meetup group, give me a wave. Let me know, because I want to say thanks. So if you're not aware of it, I wrote a plugin on stuff that we've been kind of working on for the past little while. So this is the plugin. It's called the Advanced Query Loop plugin. And what it allows us to do is I've got another support thread I got to look at apparently. What it allows us to do is create more advanced queries using the query loop block by introducing a variation and a bunch of controls. So that's what I've been kind of working on for the past little while. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to get out of here, leave that. A lot of clicking. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to just do a couple of setup things. First thing, I'm going to turn off the Gutenberg plugin, because I don't think I need it. I'm going to turn off that too. Come back into my all posts. I have this advanced query loop plugin that I've been working with. So basically what it allows us to do, you know what? I don't think I had that plugin installed. I can activate it. That'll help. So this is my plugin right now. And time is just 11 o'clock. Okay, lots of time. So if I grab this, you can see I've got my advanced query loop now. We had a little logo with the last release. I'm pretty happy for it. I would love an example. Please send it my way. I'm not looking to prove you wrong, Monty. I'm looking to understand if there's something that needs to be addressed in the slot field system or the documentation or something like that. I love it. Oh boy, do I have an example for you. I'm not scared. Maybe a little scared. Okay, so where is it now? So I'm gonna just close this down. So my plugin is here, and let's just see where I am with it. I can't remember right now, of course. CD plugins. No, I'm gonna move me. CD plugins, and then advanced query loop. Okay, where am I now? What is that? Why is there a thing in there? Oh, I don't need that. Okay, discard those changes. Okay, so let's see. I'm on trunk, right? Okay, so there's a couple of things I wanted to, there's a few, I have some ideas. Let's just put it that way. In the official repository, which is right here. I don't like this in here. Paste. Monty, if you don't want to, if you have a link to a gist or something, that'd be awesome. And then I can kind of do a bit of homework, and maybe we can talk about it next week or whatever. Anyhow, so this is the official repository, and I would love it if anybody wants to like add little issues and pull requests and stuff. So I got a couple of feature requests that kind of came out of a few different places around the net. So I think we should probably try to do some of these. So we're gonna do a vote. I'm gonna do a poll because I love doing polls. New poll. What feature should we build? And it's gonna be I'm gonna go query multiple types. And what were the other ones? Add type param for meta queer. Oh, meta. Hold on. And what the last one is exclude current post. Current post. Okay, I'm gonna start the poll. And is the poll ready? You can see the poll. Okay, cool. So y'all vote on that. Integration interface visualizes the web packet output so we can get something from the workers automatic that are saying the yeah, okay. Can you I'm gonna need to see your code, I think. If that's possible. That seems like very in the weeds, so I'm gonna have to look into it deeply, I think. Cool. How are we doing there? Let's see. No one's voting. I can't do anything unless you guys vote. No, don't share it here. Just, I don't know if it's something that you can like DM me on Twitter or something. It'd be good because it doesn't get lost. Cool. What is the E-type? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I should explain what that is. So when you do a post meta query and WP query, so come on, WP query. Nothing's clicking right now. You go to post meta, which is where it's custom fields. So you can see that. Okay, so there's a key, there's a value, there's a compare, and then there's a type. So what we have right now is if I come in here and I select my advanced query loop and I scroll down the bottom, I've got my key, my value, my compare, and then there's a type. So one of the options is, so a few options are like numeric, binary, char, date, time, decimal, signed, timed, unsigned, and the default is char. So, or char. So there could be cases where I want the type to be a number, right? Numeric or whatever, or a date, and I think it helps with comparing things, right? I think you have time for all three. Don't you start with me. I don't have time for all three. I ain't got time for this garbage. I love the multiple the query multiple types. That's going to be like post types. The survey it's in the chat. It should be at the top of the chat, Paul. Welcome, Paul, by the way. Good to see you again. Paul Beard, we go way back. WordPress, WordCamp, Toronto, 2014? Yeah. I think that was it. Yep. Contributor Day. That was fun times. And then I saw you again at WordCamp Europe this year. Paul is part of you're still part of the performance group, right? The performance group, team, anyways. Doing some real cool stuff to try to speed up WordPress, which is awesome. Okay, all right, well, poll is gonna end soon, and I got 3 votes, and I'm just going to end it now, and we're gonna try to query multiple types. And by types, I mean post types. Yes, looking down color. Yeah. Paul showed me this really cool thing where it was, for images, it would load a solid color in the back, as in where the image would be while it was loading, but it would read what like the dominant color in the images. It's really cool stuff. I don't know if you have a link to it, Paul, but feel free. All right, so we're gonna try to query multiple post types here. That's it. It wins. That's it. Okay, so now let's look at this. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna create a break, feature query. This is gonna be a tricky one. Not because it's hard to do, but because the interface might be weird. So let's look. Okay, I'm gonna go npm start. I'm just gonna get my build process running. I'll hide that. Come back over here. All right. So what we need to do. So default post stuff looks like this. We can pick a post type, right? So we can pick a post type, but we can only pick one post type. And this section here, this piece and this piece are in the in the block by default. And so are the filters. This stuff down here is the stuff that I've added. Actually, the color. Where'd that go from? I didn't know that. The color stuff is something that I didn't add. So for us to do that, we need to do it. I don't think we can just remove this because we'll lose everything, which is not what we want. So let me see what I got in here. So in my advanced query loop, we've got variations. So that defines our variation. This is all the controls. This is the advanced query loop. Okay, so this is where we're filtering the controls for the block. And so the thing is, all that stuff. Oh, nice. Thanks, Monty. All this stuff is contained in here. All this is contained in there. So for example, if I were to do this, hide it, and then refresh this page, we're going to weird. So see, we've lost all that stuff. That's not good. We can't deal with that. So we're gonna have to figure out a way from a UX standpoint, because all we need to do really, it's not super difficult to do this because when we look at our variations, so the attribute, there's another variant. So this supports post type out of the box. So I'm assuming that I can just like write a little code in my controls. So where am I? Oh, here they are. So post meta, post count controls. That's post count, right? So I could probably put like, I'm just gonna put a button in here, and we're just gonna test something real quick. I just want to make sure that this works. Button. Should have a button in here somewhere. Button. You see, I'm using experimental number control. Should be using experimental, but I am. I gotta move over here now. Change select type. Yeah, I can't change that type though, Paul. That's the problem. I don't have direct access to all the stuff in here, which is unfortunate. If I did, that would be awesome. If there's a way to filter that, or if there's a way to access that, I don't know. I don't know how there could be, unfortunately, because it's all kind of contained inside of this component. JS. Oh, like modify the actual, yeah, that's not gonna work. I don't think that's gonna work because the way that it modifies the state, I don't think I'll happen. I mean, we can try it. Like at the end of the day, it's just a select, and then what's the attribute? Multiple select attribute. Multiple select input. It's probably just an attribute that I'm just being dumb about. Select multiple. How do you? Oh, you just add multiple to it. Well, let's see what this does. I don't know if this will work. This is interesting. We could try that way. I feel like it's not going to be styled right. That's for sure. So if I do that, no, it's not. I don't think it's working. So it's just getting pages. Because what it needs to do at the end of the day is we also have to format it as an array. Like when you want to do a post by post type. You're awesome. You did that. Oh, Eric Yo 83, thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. So if you want to do a post type, it needs to be passed as an array like this. And I don't think, just by changing that type, I don't think it's going to work. Next scene, build a multi-select component for Gutenberg. Yeah, there might even be one, but we can't use it. Is the point I'm getting at here? Is because we as developers do not have access to the stuff that is in the block edit of the query loop block that we're extending. We're not going to be able to just replace this with a multi-select. What we're going to have to do is use this, and well, then I guess maybe then use a multi-select to be able to select an additional post type. So it's going to be ugly. It's not going to be great. It's going to be ugly. Select control has a multiple prop. It does it. Let's see. Let's just have a look, because that would be wicked awesome. But again, we're not going to have access to it, which is a real bummer. So what is this thing? What is this thing? Where's this thing? Select. Insert. Select. Multiple. Let's go true. So. Oh, I think I lost the state on it. So there we go. Yeah. Okay. So what I think we can do is build another one and add it in, right? And then there we go. So we can do that. We can do multiple apparently somewhere in here, right? One important property refers value. Multiple refers value should be an array with values. Okay. So this is, again, we're going to need to write our own solution to do this. We can use this, but we're going to have to use that plus the other one to manage the things. So let's try that. Okay. I'm going to create a new component in here. We're going to call it multiple post select.js. Okay. Const. Do I have a naming convention here? What am I calling this thing? Post meta control multiple post select. Oh my god, that's so awesome. All right, I'm gonna do that, and I don't need this yet. And in here, I'm gonna have to grab a little bit of dependencies. Right. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's not right. Get out of here. Get lost with you. All right, so we're gonna do that. So the multiple post select. So what do we need? I need a select control. Right. I'm gonna go return. I'm gonna do select control, and this, and then link. So I got a prop. So is there an example? Select control. So just oh, next has no margin bottom. That's cool that that's in there. Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and grab all this. This is just gonna be an example for now. Add those as props, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna say console.log new size, and then if I set it as a multiple, do that, and then I export default multiple select posts. It should be able to come in here and go, oh wait, just because, just to be consistent, I'm just going to export it directly like that. And I will import, come on now, learn to type, import multiple select posts. I'm just going to drop it in here and see what happens. This might just all get broken. So I'm going to put it at the top here and spread props across it, because I'm going to eventually need that anyways. I got to clean that up. I hate spreading props like that. Hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Additional post types. Additional post types. What are you talking about, Paul? Yes. Yes, that's the answer. The answer is yes. All right, so let's see what we got in here. Let's just grab this again. Uh-oh. Whoa. That's not good. Let's see. What's the error? I'm probably just doing something stupid in there. Reference error. Size is not defined. Well, that'll do it. That will do it. Just do this for now. Okay, so that. Refresh that. Get this out of the way. Get this out of the way. Grab this. Bang. Go over here. Size. Oh, that was horrible. Huh. Okay. Well. All right. So let's look at it in a bit more detail down here. So multiple. So that needs to be an array. Select some users. Set state users options. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe. Okay, I'm going to grab some of this stuff, and we're gonna get this working, and then I'm gonna turn it into something different. So I'm going to use state from the WordPress element package. So if you're not familiar with this package, what this does, this is the abstraction for React. So all the React stuff is what? This control is for adding type on top of the primary selected in the main control. Paul, you are 100% correct. Yes, that is exactly what it's doing. Okay, so I have that little set state thing now. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to, I'm going to do something like this. Whatever we call it, set size. It's not going to be users. Where am I getting this? Set size. Just need to pass this. Sizes. Sorry, I'm mixing my metaphors here. So we're going to say new sizes because we are picking multiple sizes, and then this is going to be, value is going to be sizes. So these sizes, and I think this will work by doing like this. And then I think I need an array in here. I'm going to say 100%. I think this should work. So that will be an array. I should have multiple sizes picked, right? I'm going to maybe just add I don't know, whatever. So we'll see. Okay, cool. So let's see what that looks like. Edit through this. Okay, we'll see what we got. I'm gonna move me out of the way now. Thanks for whoever keeps moving me in appropriate fashions because I keep forgetting to do it. So let's see what we got. So, okay. So can I, man, this is like, I gotta put this in a panel body, sorry. The other thing I'm doing is I'm wrapping, I think I'm wrapping everything. Huh. I am wrapping it in panel body. Do I have panel body? No, I need to get a panel body in here. So, oh, yeah, I'm gonna use panel body, okay. Panel body. I'm adding this because it's very, it's ugly. It's not working very well. So I'm gonna wrap this entire control inside of a panel body. And that will give me a bit more space on the right hand side, which we'll see in a second. This is going to be, I'm going to call this, I guess, multiple post select. Let's see what that looks like. Is that loading? That's loading. This autosave thing needs to go the heck away, man. Let's see, multiple select. Okay, so we got size, so I can select multiples. I hate everything about this though. Shrink. Shrink what? So this, I don't like this. Is there like, is there another prop or something that I'm not aware of? Label position, hide, help, multiple options, children, unchange, has no bottom area, related to components. It doesn't look super nice, right? Like I think we need, I don't know. That's a bummer. Oops, that's not what I wanted. So you see I've got this like multiple post select thing now. So if I select this, what I want to have happen is basically the same idea, except I don't want that. So the post meta control, I can use some examples from there. So I can, I need attributes and set attributes, I think. Here, needs to be a checkbox. Probably end up using like a checklist instead. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I don't like this. I think a checkbox is the way to go. It's not a great user interface, eh? But with a plugin like this, you don't know how many post types there will be. Oh yes, we do. Would you start with me? We can get them. What do you mean? Corey, what you talking about? We can absolutely get the post types. User could have 100. 100 registered custom post types? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, I see what you're saying. It could be a really long list. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. I thought you meant like technically we couldn't get access to them. I'm like, you're a liar. Which is, it's a really nice way of talking to people that spend their time with you. So I apologize. But so probably what we'd want to do there is maybe like some kind of type ahead, like some kind of like auto, you know what I mean? Well, you're only going to need public, and you're only going to need the ones that have been exposed to the REST API. Those are the only ones that you're going to be able to get. So anything outside of that, you're not going to be able to do. But the UX problem that you're talking about is 100% correct. What if I have, I don't know, like what if somebody built a site that has a custom post type for every team, every sports team on the planet? Why would you do that? I don't know, but you could, right? So you could have like you know what I mean, or an accordion control. Yeah, an accordion control. I think maybe something like a search, like an autocomplete, like something like this, like the filters. What do we got for filters? Where are we here? So if I want to look at taxonomies, I can go uncategorized. Maybe something like that. Select two. I don't know if select two works in React though, Paul. Maybe it does. I haven't used it in years. Or an accordion control. Could also just wrap it in a div with scroll and a max height for view one. Yeah, could do that. Something like this I think would be cool though. Don't you think? I don't even know how to build that. But maybe we can do that. The thing that I wanted, no, set to in React in the look and feel. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, cool. What I want to check is I want to see how the query actually responds to it. Yes to text control. I think that's probably the way to do it. But let's just see. So if I go on change, so what do I need out here? I need attributes. So this is ugly. Because of other control, this gets really ugly. This is similar. Multi-site component. Oh, nice. React both select component. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we could use that. All right, before we get into the UI thing, I know these are great suggestions. They really are, and I think that this is. We'll take a look at this and see how it works. That looks pretty cool. Definitely usable. Sure, license is compatible. Yeah, so that's pretty cool too. But what I want to check, the primary type is shown but disabled. That's a good idea. Because we can do something like this. Like let's pretend. Okay, so let's actually make this posts, right? So we can say that this is posts, right? I believe you can do something like, I think you can do disabled. I think I saw that. I'm not typing properly right now, but I think there's a disabled option, disabled true. So you could do something like this, right? Oh my sweet lord. So this could be like currently selected, right? Currently whatever the currently selected is. So in this case, let's say it's posts, right? And then we've got pages, and then we've got whatever. I've got another one called streams, and then I think that's all we've got right now, right? So the interface could look something along these lines. This is Flex Perception, first time chat. Thank you. The size prop in Storybook for selected. There's a size prop. Hey now. Let's take a look at that. That's awesome. Where's this size prop? Size prop. Small. Default. Unstable large. What is? Can you set multiple? Multiple is set to true. See, I can't even. I'm. You can't see what I'm doing, but I'm trying to scroll. That's so awkward. I love this. If you haven't used Storybook, you got to go check it out. It's super cool. Combo box control lets you one time selected to search and import. That's cool. Yeah. All right. Combo box control. That's in here. Where's that one? That's probably up here somewhere. Combo box control. So we go. Can I keep doing it? Let's see. That's a lot of data. Label messages allow reset. Oh, okay, there's a reset button. Label messages on change, set object. What are the options? Oh, sorry. Thanks. Yeah, that's pretty cool too. There's custom select control. What's this thing? With long labels, with hints. What's this thing? Default with render item. If I select that, like if I keep typing, what I need is that, but multiple. That's sort of what I need. Which should be cool. Select control. Custom children. Oh, like that. Okay. Okay. So there's some cool things that we can definitely like. I have a feeling we're not going to end up on whatever it is today. Well, we might. But what I want to check is I want to see what I have to do to make this work. That's basically it. So I'm gonna get my I'm gonna get set attributes. Okay, so in here, okay, I'm gonna be able to call set attributes. And I need to get the attributes. So how did I do that here? So it's kind of a complicated way of doing it. So I have set attributes, attribute. Okay, so I need to do something along these lines. Let's go like this. So set attributes. Oops. So the attributes are, it's a big list of attributes. So I don't know if I showed you this or not, but in my theme I have an example of what it looks like. I'll just show you what that looks like. So I go into variations and I go in here. You can see, so this is what the attributes look like. So we've got a query, we've got per page, we've got pages, we've got offset, we've got post type, we've got order, we got all this stuff, right? So we can get access. Someone already mentioned FormTokenField. I don't think anyone did. So I want to see if this works as an array, because I don't know how it's going to work. It may just not. It may just not. So I don't know what kind of format it needs. So query, and this is going to, wait, what's the query? This thing, it's going to be post type. It's a string. So if I just go post type, I'm just going to hard code it. I'm going to say, I guess it would be an array, right? So it's going to be post page, and I'm going to do post, I'm going to stream. Oh, what is the, of course I don't remember the name of my custom post type is called, and it includes a custom stream custom post type, and it's going to be here somewhere, Twitch stream. That's the name of my custom post type, so I'm going to put that in there. There we go. So if we just do this, I don't know what's going to happen. So we're going to see. Refresh this. It might just break. I have literally no idea. Uncharted territory. What just happened? Oh, I got in there. Oh, Lord. What? Oh, build failed. Why did the build fail? That seems not good. What is this? Oh. That'll do it every time. There we go. Build is good. Okay. Refresh this now. The demo. It's called Storybook, and it's here. Get to it here, Paul. That's it there. Okay, so I have this. Come back over here. We need this right now. What was I doing? right, this thing. Okay. So if I go, I can't select it. Okay, so that broke something. So let's look and see. So in my network, do I have a console? What's this? Types. Stream. Ooh. I may have to do this a different way. Let's look here. Okay, so if I look, we can look at oh, that's the API call it's making. I wonder, okay, I'm gonna clear this. Let me just see. So this should give me, okay, so this is trying to, which taxonomies, content. Okay. I don't think I can do it that way. Because I don't know if you can make, because what this is trying to do is it's trying to make a REST API call. Like this is yeah, it's trying to make it like it did here. It's trying to hit the API for Twitch stream to retrieve that, and I can't do it here because it's not right. That doesn't exist. That URL doesn't exist. So I have to do this in PHP. I think comment box version looks like, I don't know where that line. He should write whatever he wants. What is this one? Yeah. What? Oh, there's a multi-select control. Let's look at that one. Where's that one? Is it not in here? I don't see it. Why is it not in there? What the deuce? Oh, this is because it's, sorry, I thought this is that's TokenField. I thought this was a modern version of TokenField behaving like a multi-select. FormTokenField. Is this part of is this that form API that is it experimental? I've literally never used this before. I don't know if this might be the one that they are working on, but it might be experimental. I'm not sure. No, FormTokenField. It doesn't look like it is experimental. Well, look at that. FormToken. Where's this thing? FormToken. I've never heard of this. This looks super cool. So what do you do here? Oh, that's neat. Well, Kev, thanks for that suggestion. I'd never heard of that before. Let's take a look. So this is in components, right? So it's going to be FormTokenField. Let's see what that does. That might be the solution that we're sort of looking for. FormTokenField. Just stealing all their stuff here. What are we doing? Right, okay. I really wish I could filter the block edit. That'd be great, but I don't think it's a possibility. All right, I'm just gonna steal this and then we'll just get this working. See what that looks like. I'm gonna just hide this for now because I don't know if that's gonna be the right solution. Anyhow, so let's see. Let's get back over here. Let's go like this. The problem that we're gonna have though is I'm gonna need to like basically filter the post per page thing. Not the post per page, but the post thing in the on the PHP side, which is not a problem. We're doing that like crazy anyways. Add item. So I need to type, what am I typing? Oh, I don't even know anymore. Africa. Ooh, hello. And yeah, that's it. That's it. That's perfect. That's exactly it. I didn't even know that existed. Kevin, you're awesome. And everyone else is also awesome. You know, all made some fantastic suggestions. Love it. Thank you for that. Okay, so now to do this properly, what I need to do is I need to look at the tokens. Okay, so I need to, all right. So is there a way to be able to like value? Okay, display, save, transform on input, change on function suggestions, max suggestions, token size on space is borderless, maximum to save. Okay, no. Placeholder, messages, I don't need any of this stuff. Okay, so now I need to figure out what's the best way of doing it, right? Like I need a list of all the posts. Drop down, select your version. This version is what you need. Drop down, selector. Oh! That's exactly what I need. Where'd you find that sucker? Where's that input? Suggestions, token method, space value. How did I get that? What's this? Okay, so I need that. Let's experimental, expand on focus, right? Is that what I want? That looks like it. It's experimental. We shouldn't really use it, but you know what? For the sake of this, I think we're gonna get a lot more out of it if we use it. So, thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. So we do that, this. Perfect. Okay. That's pretty awesome. So what if I now do, so the value is selected continents. I have an idea. Okay. So I don't need this. So from my attributes, I want to get post type. Right? And then if I do something, it's an array. So if I spread this, that's what I'll do. That's what I do. Post type and then spread this, right? So this is going to be wrong. Like, so if I do, so the continents are going to be the other post types, right? And what I want to do is make sure that my selected post type is always added at the beginning of it. So let's see what that does. I don't know what this is going to look like. It might just look redonkulous, but we'll see. All right, so right now I've got Twitch stream, which is perfect. Now if I change this, I go page, and this should start being able to add. Oh, okay. Okay, that's the idea. This is gonna be wrong, but that's the idea. Yeah. This is always adding page. Well, I've certainly marked up the wrong tree on that one, but that's the idea, right? So I changed that. Or maybe I don't need to. Maybe I just need to put it in there. Anyways, okay. So what's the other thing? So post count, post meta control. So in post meta, I think I'm making a query somewhere. Am I not? I thought I made a query somewhere. That's it. Post meta query controls. Excuse me. So what I need to get is I need to get a list of all post types, and I think that's done. We'll just leave that for now. Data.select, and there's what I think it's got core. What comes up in there? I think we want like get entities by kind, I think is what I want. So I go get entities by kind, and I go root. What does that give me? Post type. I should be able to get all this post types, right? HTML types. Get. Maybe that's not the right one. Is it get? I gotta find the right selector. So what I want to do, get entity record. No, I want to get entity by kind. Get entity. Maybe that's what I need. I'm trying to get a list of all the post types. Get entity. I go with post type. Right? Entity config. Oh, thanks for the follow, Chris Kratz. Config. Config is expecting something. Oh, config? That's not right. I'm trying to get a thing. Just called it, didn't I? Where the hell I called it? Oh, right here. And so it's going to be. Post type. I don't know. Is this gonna work? Let's see. Try again. No, shit. Okay. I'm trying to complete blank here. How do I? Oh, you're awesome, Scooter jerk. Gutenberg data get registered post types. I've done this 1,000 times, and now why can't I do it? Let's go in there. Some dev docs here. It's gonna be data. Maybe data package somewhere in here. And we're gonna need what the deuce. Yeah, what the deuce, Cav? You're right. This is not the package that I want though. What? It's gonna be like core, I think. Core data? Is there core data? What is it? Yeah, core data. What's in here? So we're gonna say post types. Post type. Get autosave. Maybe I'm in the wrong. Okay, I don't need entity record. Entity records. This is getting. Can you read the value in the main control? Maybe. Oh, this is bugging me now. This is ridiculous because there is, like, I can call. I'm pretty sure I can call types, but I swear I've done this before. Where have I done this before? I'm trying to remember now. So the meta query has got. I'm pulling in. Get entity records, the post type. I passed the post type. Dequery. What are you trying to do? I'm trying to get a list of all the registered post types, and I know I can do it by, like, I can API fetch and go like I can go JSON. Oh god, no! Get out of here. JSON. I can go V2. I think I can go like types. Yeah, and this will give me the types, but there's got to be a selector for that somewhere, and I just don't know what package it's part of. So this gives me what I need. I got post, page, all that stuff, right? But what I want to do is get it. Maybe it's not core. It's core data. Core data. or data. Nope, that ain't it. Oh, you're so brilliant. Let's see what happens here. Get list of post types. Let me do it because it's kind of a comment. Get list of post types. Why doesn't this thing doesn't want to? Okay, const get post types. But what is that an actual thing? Is that an actual thing? That's so ridiculous. That's an actual thing. Is it? Wait, what is this? What is this? Posts. Name is posts. That's freaking awesome. Okay. So is this so? Okay, so I think I have to use select, right? So it is in the core data. Is this it? Is this core data? Yeah. So if I go, yeah, it's not in there. So I think I just have to use select. That is amazing that happened. Kevin saves the stream again. I'm not gonna access it like that. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna use select, and use select is from import. It's from the data package. That is beyond amazing. You need something like this, a REST API. Can pass public as preempt pre-filter. What? Eric Yo. Yep, there is a, sorry, are you saying that we should be adding a REST API to WordPress? Is that what you're saying? Import use select from, there we go. I don't spell from right. Because there is a REST API already in WordPress. I feel like that's not what you're saying, but I think I'm just misunderstanding what you're sort of saying here. So const, we're gonna go post types. It's not gonna work that way. Use. Oh yeah, it is gonna work that way actually. Use select, and it's gonna be select and select. Got get post size, but one thing that's kind of cool is I start doing this now. Import store as store name, core store, and then passing it there. I think that's a nice clean way of doing it. Sorry, what is yes? That we need to add a REST API to WordPress? If that's what you mean, give me a thumbs up, because there is one. It's already there. You can extend it, do whatever you want. But, okay, so now I'm gonna console.log post types. That might be the funniest thing that has happened on this stream. I like, no doubt. That was really, really funny. I wasn't knowing. Oh, don't be sorry. No. Sorry, I wasn't saying that like, what are you, an idiot? That's not at all what I meant. No. It's a great suggestion. WordPress does have a REST API. It's had it for a little while. All of the Gutenberg magic that you're seeing, all the block editor stuff and post editor stuff, that's all built on top of that REST API. That's how we access the data from the database. We get that out that way. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find, there's a lot of levels here. So what I was trying to do was find the code and the JavaScript that is calling behind the scenes, calling those REST API endpoints to be able to get that data. And this is done through this concept of a store, of a data store, specifically a Redux data store, which is what the Gutenberg project bases its data stores off of. And so there's this idea of selectors and dispatchers and actions and things. And so selector pulls things, right? So that's what I'm doing. And so what this is this is a React hook called useSelect, and what it does is it's going to access the specific store, and then behind the scenes it's going to hit that endpoint and get us the information that we need. So yeah, but that was a great suggestion, and I thank you for making it. So let's see. In here. Okay, so now I got some posts. So obviously we don't need half this junk. So I'm going to just basically filter out name and slug. That's going to be my thing. So I'm going to go post types, dot filter map type. I think I need a filter. I'm just going to map it. Oh my lord, type. No, it's going to be an object, right? And it's going to say label. It's going to be what? Why are you being dumb? Oh, right. Okay, so I need to do this. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing here today. So this is going to be return, and it's going to say return an object like that, but I want to destructure out some of the things because I hate the dot syntax. I'm going to go name and slug, right? And the name, going to go label. Name is going to be label, and value is going to be slug, not select, slug. So that now I should be able to pop this into suggestions, right? And yeah, right. I'm just gonna do this. Tokens. Okay, so this is gonna this is fine. Okay, so this is gonna show up empty. So I should be able to get post types in there. Right. So I grab this. I grab this. I grab this. I grab this. I come over here and there's nothing in there. Oh no! What did I break? What did I break? Objects are not object key. Oh wait, is it supposed to be an array? It's an array of objects. Well, what isn't post types an array? Oh yeah, that's. Oh boy. Okay. So that's an. Objects are not valid as React child. Found object with keys label value. If you meant to render a collection of children, use an array instead. What am I doing wrong here? I don't understand. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, sorry. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to just return the slug. That's it. I was looking at the wrong thing. I'm just going to do that. And then I don't even need to do that. I just need to do that. Right? That should be what I need. Right? I was looking at the wrong reference for how that thing needed to be dealt with. So this is what it needs to be. So this should come over here, and I think I should do, there we go. So if I go attachment, didn't get added, but that's fine. Oh, I didn't get added, but interesting. Okay, so we'll get that figured out next. Oh, No, you don't actually. Well, maybe actually. According to the example, you just do it like this, which is a bit ugly. Unless there is a way of doing labels, values, status, value, messages. Suggestions. Array of strings to represent the user as suggested tokens. So I have to use the name. I think I have to use the slug. I don't think there's a way of showing that. I don't think so. No, where was that? This thing? No. What am I using? Oh yeah, the form, something or other, form thing, and then there's drop down selector. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's possible. So that's fine. I'm just gonna use I'm gonna use like the slug name, display transform maybe. I don't know what that is. We'll take a look. We'll take a look. All right. So in my multiple thing, I'm gonna say post page block navigation stream. Okay. So my question then is, can I, Paul? You said get post types. Does get post types have a Did you say that there was like a filter on there or something? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I need to filter this. I think that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to do a filter on there, and let's see what that does. If this works. I mean, GitHub Copilot is just going to put me out of a job here. It's fantastic. Or it's going to get me a better job, one of the two. Oh my lord. Did you see that? These are all the things that are viewable. That's so cool. So, yeah, so what I wanted to do was I'm assuming viewable means public, right? Things that people can actually see. So I'm filtering those out, and then I'm just returning the slug. And now that's my post types. And so now I have my post types. And so what I need to do, so I'm right now, that needs to go away. This can all go away as well. So the next part I have to do is when it changes, I want to be able to set the attributes in my block. So I will do that by adding, the approach that I've been taking for some of these things is to hijack the existing query object, which I'm doing, like, for example, can they add that? Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. This is not a thing. Oh, they can. That's a problem. So let's look. Let's look. This. All right. Can I do that? That is a problem. Well, the thing is, it's just not gonna work really. But that's a good good call out, Rebel 2000K. An excellent call out on that. So I think maybe for the purposes of what we're doing, I don't care so much about that right now, because if it's registered as a post type and it's not a post type, like if you put in whatever and it doesn't work, I don't think it's going to affect the query. It just won't include that as a post type. So it's not a huge issue, but it's definitely an issue. what was that other thing? Display transform maybe? The callback function. Yeah, I think that might be where we go. I was just thinking that as well. That there are, where is this thing? Is it in here? So like on input change, on change, function to call when tokens are changed, an array of new tokens is passed to the callback. So if I do this on change, in here, let's, oh no, that's not what I want. Oh yeah, that is exactly what I want. So in here, I could probably do something like I could probably like filter the tokens to remove wrong stuff, wrong items. Like I could do that. That's probably where I could do it. But there's this other one that's on input change. Functional user types in the input field. You can no longer use the trigger autocomplete request. So, you can do a lot of stuff in here. Function to call transform display in editor. This needs to otherwise wants by spam, wants by React. Display transform. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna leave this for my V1. I want to get this just saving, and then we'll see how that goes. But there's definitely some things that need to be cleaned up. I don't want people to be able to type whatever they want in there, but I don't think at the end of the day it'll really matter because of how we're gonna be processing it, right? Okay, so I'm gonna have to call set attributes. I'm gonna call it like I can't remember how I'm doing it. So what I was doing, I'm gonna find one that's a little bit simpler. So I'm basically hijacking the query attribute, which is an object, which was awesome because it allows me to add whatever the hell I want to it, and it won't invalidate the block because it's an object of properties, right? So I'm going to steal this, and in here I'm going to call. Wait a minute, I need an object. So I'm going to set all my attributes. I'm going to take the query. I'm going to pass attributes.query, which I'm getting up here, right? Then I'm going to say. I'm just gonna make up a new key, multiple posts, right? And then I don't really care what's in there at all. It's not gonna be an object. It's just gonna be tokens, right? And that's going to be what I get, right? And then then the suggestions are here. The value is going to then be taken from attributes. I'm going to now get rid of this. I'm going to get say const. I'm going to say whatever I call this thing, multiple posts, and it's going to be attributes. It's going to be, I'll do it like this. All right, so query, bang, bang, and whoever just, thanks for the follow, newer Pip 6. Welcome aboard. So glad you're here. Thanks. So I'm going to get this multiple posts, and this is going to go, the values are going to go in there. So this is just some magical destructuring. And then, right, I'm going to change this from tokens to posts because that's what we're doing. Okay, so this isn't going to change the query because it just isn't going to change the query yet, because there's a second part to this that we have to do. But what I want to make sure is happening is that I have this attribute being saved in here. So if I come in here and I go grab this thing, oh no, what have I done? What is this? Cannot read, reading multiple posts. Okay, so multiple posts, where's that error happening? Shouldn't, what's the actual error here? Cannot read properties of undefined, reading multiple. Oh, query is undefined? Oh, I know why. I did this last time too, like that, I think. Should be definitely be a query block. or a query in this block. I grab this, because that seems to work now, so post. Okay. It's not showing up there. It's interesting. Update that, but I hope if I look now at the if I look at the sort of the code editor, I can look in here and I see queries. Oh boy. Okay, where is it? Maybe it's not being saved. Query per page, pages, offset, post type, Twitch stream, order by, author, exclude, parents, meta query, queries, meta stream, date query, multiple posts. It's being saved as an array. Okay, so that is in there, but for whatever reason, it's not actually saving. Oh, I wonder if I have to do this. I wonder if I have to do this. I wonder if I have to spread that so it adds to it. I don't know. This is a bit strange. Transformers by you can look at the label from the slide. That's a cool idea, Kev. Okay, so add item post. Why is it not? This is not updating. Why the hell is it not updating? Is it re-rendering and causing it to go away or something? What the hell is going on here? Okay, so I'm gonna pick attachment, update, and look at the visual editor. Post, see it's there, post. Oh, wait, what? Okay, I think the value, so I have it all in there. Okay. Suggestions is post types. So what is, I think I'm saving things wrong. What does it need to be saved as? What does it get saved as? Let's look. Okay, I'm gonna put this back. I think I'm just saving the value of this incorrectly. I think that's the problem. Is it? What is this thing expecting? Okay, cool. Let's put it back then. I'm gonna grab this again. Get my working example. I already have that. So my suggestions are gonna be continents. Value is select. It's an array. Should just be an array, right? Right? And this should be selected continents. And I'm in here. I'm just gonna get rid of this. All right, I'm gonna just do this, and then I want to console log select the continent. I feel like I'm just formatting my data incorrectly, and then I think we'll be okay. Let's go back over here, refresh, and console. Okay, so then let's get on here and go this and go this and back over here. So it's an empty array right now, and then I'm gonna go like that. Africa, and it's broken. Tokens is not defined because it's not tokens anymore. That's why right there. It's not tokens anymore. All right, cool. Let's see. So I want this to be Africa. That works. So Antarctica, that works. Asia, that works. Oceania, that works. Okay, so that is just an array. That should be all it is. Okay. So if I do the same thing now, with this, right? I'm going to console log, select multiple posts. Wait a minute, multiple posts needs to be an array, right? So come in here, I should have multiple posts as an array. I may need to actually delete this block and redo it. I think maybe my data behind the scenes is a bit all borked. Like the attribute data is borked. So, no, that looks right. So that's Africa. So this one, oh, you know, I didn't do. Update the post data. Okay, so post types is going to be the suggestions. Oops. No, suggestions. And multiple posts. Multiple posts is going to be the value. So let's see what I got here. Okay, so so Africa, yeah, cool. Antarctica, America, Asia. Okay, that works. Oops. So I said hide it post. Okay, what is happening now? Oh, I need multiple posts. I need to do this. I think I'm screwing this up somehow. I need to look at this. Reload. Isn't it fun just watching me debug a problem for 45 minutes? Should we do a poll? No, I'm just kidding. We don't need to do a poll. Nope. Post. Huh. Okay, so it's not getting. Let's get the query. Let's look at what the query actually looks like. I do attributes.query, so we can just see it because I'll make sure that that's correct. Well, if you find it interesting, then you're welcome to come back because this is like the majority of what I do. Multiple posts. We got to. Oh, that's really messed up. Okay, so I think I need to. I'm going to delete this block, and we're going to start from scratch. I think that makes way more sense. I'm going to update this because I've messed up that stuff. So we're going to go for advanced query loop. Start blank. That needs to go away. Okay. Now here I'm going to go. What am I doing? I'm adding. If I go post. Okay, what happened there? Okay. So the first thing I think I need to. It's not iterable. Where the hell is that happening? I think I just need to do this. I think that's all I need to do. So let's try this again. This is the thing when you get into like your syntax function might be wrong there. Wrong in what sense? Like how I'm updating the attributes? That's what I think. That's what I think I'm doing. I think you're right. I think I'm incorrect in the way that this is working. Weird. Just gonna take that one. I'm gonna update this. Okay, so now let's see. So we're gonna do post. Okay, no, it's not adding to the array. Super annoying. I think what I need to do is go. It's supposed to be an array, so I think I need to spread the attributes dot. What is it? Multiple posts, and then add my posts at the end. That's what I think I need to do, but I don't understand why it's not displaying. because I'm pretty sure it's writing it correctly as a. No, it's not even updating in here. Okay, so it's not in there. All right, let's go back and grab this. It's gonna be one of those things where it's super dumb. Kevin's gonna be like, "Why didn't you do it this way, you dummy?" Okay, not. Why is multiple posts not iterable? Oh, I'm so dumb. I think this is why, because it's inside of queries. Queries. Because it won't be, it'll be null. Of course, null is not iterable. Ugh. Let's try this again. Okay. Have I lost everyone? Is everyone slowly like noping out of the call, out of the stream? Because I wouldn't blame you. It's still telling me attributes.query that multiple posts is not iterable. I'm just trying new things now. I'm just trying things, hoping against hope. Well, I'm not getting any errors there. Why is it not showing up? Multiple posts. Am I the only one that's like kind of losing their mind a little bit here? Like I'm having a really hard time understanding what in the deuce is going on with this. And if someone doesn't do a what the deuce right now, I don't know what to tell you. Kevin. So that's an empty array. It's telling me that that's an empty array. So query multiple posts. What the deuce? Oh my God. Oh my Lord. You know what? I'm trying to get query off of attributes.query. That doesn't work that way. Is it necessary to use attributes identifier if you're using set attributes? Where are you talking about? Oh, in here? Is this what you mean, Flex Perception? What I'm doing here is I want to spread the contents of attributes.query. And you're probably right. I probably can just do it like this. No, I have to do it that way because if I access this, it has to do with destructuring. So I think I've just fixed it. I think I know what the problem is here. But oh, that was Corey that triggered it. That's great too. Unnecessary for necessary nested attributes. Yeah. So what I want to do is I want to take everything that's in there, spread it across the object, and then I want to just plunk my thing on the end. And then this looks better. So, but why is it? What's the problem here? Token undefined. Okay. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm going to delete this one. I think I know what I did wrong. I'll explain it. If it's correct, I'll explain it in a second. So I should be able to go post to post. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's an array. Post. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start like this for now. So what I'm hoping to do is this just becomes an array of whatever's in there and it gets plunked in. I think that might be the way of doing it. We might be almost there. Fist bump. I don't know. Let's see. All right. First, I want to check to make sure what we got in the code editor. So multiple posts. So this I think that's incorrect. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to update that. I'm going to just straight up hack the matrix. Call me Neo. Call me Neon. I've realized something about myself, ladies and gentlemen. It's working. Yes. Where is it? Somebody hit it. You know what I'm talking about. Where is it? Where is that thing? Come on. Somebody get there. This one. Redeem. Oh, there we go. Corey, you beat me to it. Or I beat you to it. Now it's playing 4 times in my head. Everyone's doing it. Awesome. Yay! Go team. All right. So that's awesome. So what happens if I update this now? So now I want to make sure that this is actually updating. And when I refresh it, I should have all that stuff in there. Right? Bang, boom, bam. I do. I got 3. I got 3 mission completed. I gotta get that on my I have a Stream Deck. I gotta get that so I can trigger it quickly. And the what to do's probably. But I like it better when you guys do it because it makes me feel special. You guys are supposed to. Okay, so now that was super painful, but we got through it. So I'm gonna get rid of this top one now. This is not the one that I need anymore. Sorry. So what I want to do is I'm gonna get rid of this. See that? Okay, cool. I'm gonna get rid of this use state. I'm gonna get rid of continents. I don't need use state anymore. So this is now gonna give me all that stuff. So and I'm just gonna clean this up because I like to copy and paste all my code from other code. That's how you do it. Lead developer, former lead developer, copy and paste ninja. Cool. Okay, so now the next part. So we weren't going to be able to do it just by hijacking the query. So what we actually have to do now is we have to go and modify the query loops. So this is done in 2 places. This is going to get a bit complicated. So there's 2 places that we need to do it. We need to do it on the REST API. So anytime we make a call. So basically, what we have to do is filter. Yeah. This could get more complicated. I'm not even sure how this is going to work. I'm now thinking this through because these requests, what we're doing is we're filtering the REST endpoint, all right, to add our custom params. We got a whole bunch of custom params that I'm adding in, but what I've not thought of until just now is the front end, is how we're going to handle this. So let's just try this. So in here, let me back it up. So the first thing is we need to filter it on the back end, like in the block editor, so we can see our changes reflected. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just come in here. I'm going to say post related, right? I'm just going to do that because you know what? That's just how I like to roll. I'm going to call it multiple posts, multiple post types. I was getting nervous when I had to type because I think that was going to just actually do that for me. No, okay, so we have this, right? So if we have this now, I should be able to. How do I mess with this? So custom mark state query. Right. Okay. So args is what I already have. So I want to look at what args has. So let's do that really technical PHP development, and I'm gonna var dump out args. So this should give me So what'll happen here is when I refresh this page, this should stop. This won't be able to complete because I've just killed it. So we should just get like a little spinny. And in my network tab, we should be able to look and see wherever that is. Let's refresh it so I can see where the post type is. So it's gonna try to make a call somewhere over here maybe. Response. Yeah, that's it there. So it's good. So it's trying to make a request. So in my payload, so what I'm basically, you guys can't see that. I'm sorry. I'm going to move me over here. What I'm basically trying to do at this point is I'm trying to see what the post type is. So post type is post. It's just set the post. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take post type and I'm going to add my post types to it. So that's the idea. So this is going to array, this is going to merge, right? So I think I'm going to try something here. So I should be able to go custom args, right? I'm hoping, let's just see, custom args. I'm going to go post type equals. So that should, is that an array? I don't know what that is actually. I'll put that in there. Is that an array? It is an array. It is an array. So I should be able to go array merge, right? Array merge with the I'm going to create an array. All these array syntaxes in the various languages, args, and I'm going to say post type, right? I'm going to merge this array. Why is that missing space before we close it? Okay, so that should give me my custom args post type. So now if I dump out custom args, I'm hoping what'll happen is I get, I'll see basically the post, whatever's selected, and then whatever's in my select field as one big array. That's what I'm hoping to see there. So I refresh this now. And, oh, that, turn critical error in this website. Oh, that's exactly what I wanted to have happen. So we gotta go, let's go to the debug log and see what I did. Okay, that's just not helpful. Okay, there should be a fatal error here somewhere. Fatal, uncaught array merge. Null is given. Null is given. Huh. Okay. So okay, so this is not, oh, it's not meta query. It's multiple posts. Right? Is that what I call it? I can't even remember what I call it anymore. Multiple posts. Okay, so this should, what I'm doing here is I'm looking on the request, I'm getting the parameter called multiple posts. So when we look over here at this broken one, we should see payload, we should see multiple posts. So I've got multiple posts, 0, 1, and 2. So that's being passed. So I'm using that get param thing to pull it off there. So yeah, that should be what that is. And then the response is an internal server error, which shouldn't be. But if I go here, and so there we go. So now I've got post attachment Twitch stream. So that's okay. It's an array, right? It's an array. So now I think so way down here at the bottom, what I'm doing is I'm merging the array args and custom args, and hopefully that's just gonna work. So I guess we're gonna see. So posts, so preview, payload, attachment string, post attachment string. So let's see, what is it actually returning to me here? This looks right. Because this is a post, this is a stream. I know that's a stream. I'm gonna, and I know that this is a stream as well. So let's grab this again, and I'm going to come in here. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of post because it's already in there. I'm going to add page. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to actually go ahead and add more of these. There we go. So we got pages. This is a post. This is the post that I'm on now. This is a stream. So we did it. That's awesome. That's awesome. So that works on this side. Now we're going to do the same thing on the front end, because if I were to update this post and I go and look at this post, I'm just seeing posts. That's it, because that's what I've selected in here. So now we need to fix the front end query, which is basically the same idea. Could set a default too. Kev, what do you mean you could set a default? Talk to me, Goose. Talk to me. I'm just going to steal this code for now. All right, I'm going to come up here. Now, I've been doing a bunch of work kind of off stream to kind of get this a little bit nicer, a little bit clearer. Parse meta query. I need custom. Custom query. Okay, so I'm just basically we have to access this slightly differently. I have this thing set up like this, so we're gonna do that. And why is that? Oh, because I need to. Because PHP code standards are weird. If the param isn't sent in, so array merge won't crash. Yeah, totally. Yes, I need to harden this up a bit for sure. I need to do some this. Like basically like is set? Can I do? No, if I'm going to do this because when I released this plugin, it showed just how much of a noob I am, because I didn't do any of this sort of stuff, and it bit me in the ass a bit. A whole bunch of people got all these like undefined notices and stuff, and it was kind of bad news. So so I've hardened that up now. So this will return null if it's not there. So that the truthy check is fine. Up here I have to be a bit more verbose about it though. Like I have to be like, it's not empty. So I'm in here. I'm going to say args. What? No. What am I doing here? That won't work. It's not args. So custom args, right? Wait, no, where's it coming from? Default query. I need to get default query, I think, right? Default query is where I'm getting that from. Default query in here. I think that works. But I'm going to go if not empty. Just gonna post types, and I will do this. I think this should be fine. Because if I'm not mistaken, if like not empty also checks what is the problem? Inline not empty checks to make sure it's set as well. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. And we'll do this. So hopefully this shouldn't cause any issues, right? Mastodon when? Yes, Mastodon when. Have you guys ever seen Half Baked, the Dave Chappelle movie, the pop movie about Dave Chappelle and Jim Brewer and a bunch of other guys? That just reminds me, for some reason it's stuck in my head. There's this part where this guy goes, "I'm Cuban B," and the bad guy's like, "Yes, Cuban B." Like he has no idea what the guy's talking about, and that's what I thought of when I read Mastodon when. That's the story. What's pot? I don't know. What you tell me. It's a thing you boil water in. So that is what it is. Did that work? It worked! Yay! So that's a page. There's a lot more posts and pages in here. I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah. So if I come in here now and I just set this to stream, I should get streams and pages. That's it. And wait, what is this one? No duration. Parent page, sample page, test page. Yeah, so that works. So I guess, so maybe should we, here's an idea. I'm wondering now if I need to clean this stuff up, obviously. But I'm wondering now if whatever's in here should remove it. Should remove. Right? Like if I pick page, if I pick post, like it shouldn't be an option in here. That's what I'm sort of getting at. So whatever's selected gets filtered out of the availables. That makes sense? I don't know what's gonna happen though. Like if I switch this to stream, it shouldn't be available. Technically it shouldn't be selected. We're in some edge cases here. But this kind of works now. So that is, now we just clean up. That's it. So what if we were to try to do that? Viewable. How do we do that? You know what? I might leave that. I'm getting almost, well, it's almost 1 p.m. my time, so we're kind of over stream time here a little bit. I think we're at a good stopping point. This is, I'm pretty happy where this has ended up. I'm gonna do some cleanup probably on it, and I've just not done any commits at all. So typically I would be committing the stuff in more incremental ways. But I think this is a good spot. So I think maybe I'm gonna call it now. But before I do, I just want to say thanks to everyone that came from the meetup group, and thanks to Cav, Corey, Monty Logic, Flex Perception, all of you for hanging out and chatting with me. Scooter JTR, I'm not going to get that right ever, but I do appreciate you very much. Yeah, so cheers. Well, Corey, I heard about your bad week, man. I'm hurt. I'm very sorry to hear that. We also recently lost a pet, and it's hard. So you have my sympathies and my condolences, my friend. And Paul, thank you for coming, everybody. So I'll be back again next week. Next week we're gonna be doing more stuff in this. I have a repo where I push this stuff. I push a lot of this code up to. But you can also make suggestions there in issues if there's like a certain stream topic. Actually, Monty, if you wanted to open up an issue on that and give me your links and whatnot for that Webpack issue, I'd love to take a deeper look at it. So anyhow, I'm going to call it, but thanks so much, and we'll see y'all hopefully next week. All right, have a good one. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like. And be sure to subscribe to my channel for more content about Gutenberg and WordPress development.